Welcome everyone to the second half of the season. It is the Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Streets presented by Heusinkveld. And we are here kicking off the second half of the season at Oulton Park, the second of the MSV tracks, the Motorsport Vision tracks owned by Oulton Park. Donington Park was just last week as well. I'll go ahead and throw up the schedule of what we had coming into tonight's event. What we've been through so far this season, we've been to Long Beach, Red Scotian, Sonoma, Road to Atlanta, Mexico City in the form of Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, Donington Park, and then this week we are here at Oulton Park International Circuit specifically, as opposed to the I just blanked on the name of the series for some reason, but either way, the production car challenge, that's going to be bypassing the first chicane. Let's go ahead and throw up the starting grid as we have Michael Folds and James Newell on the front row. Third place is Nicholas Shepard with Ishmael Ublal alongside him. Dalton Dudley, new to the top split this week, starts off in the fifth place position with Charles Wolfe starting off in sixth. Seventh place is going to be Olivier Henrico with Matt Mullins starting 8th. 9th place, Matthew Bartlett. 10th place is Matthew Bretson, also new this week. Trevor King, haven't seen him in a while. He's back, starting P11. Michael Coates starts off in P12 here. Going through the next step of the grid, next few rows, we have Michael Vanneau starting off in 13th. 14th place is Daniel Diliberti. 15th place is Aaron Reynolds with Andres Navarro starting off in 16th. 17th place, Gregorio Moreno Jr. with 18th place being rounded out by Tony Wallace. Alex Stockton starts 19th. 20th place is Loic Vermeulen. That's going to be a mispronunciation. Apologies. But he rounds out the top 20 position with Michael Tanagretta starting 21st. Kyle Genski, Vincente Sepulveda, and Tomas Aravalo round out your 24-car grid here for this week. I think this is the most that we've had in the top split in a while as well. As we await these last few drivers to grid up, we'll go ahead and say this now while we still have a chance and throw it up while we still have a moment. These are your points for the broadcast championship. Take a screenshot if you will. This is based on the MX-5 points format, and these are not the official iRacing points, but as we enter the second half of the season, we figured, you know what? Might as well throw this up on screen, and we'll throw up what these drivers will be seeing on screen. It's the lights, it's the flag stand, the revs rise, and we are green flag racing here at Oulton Park. And already a great start. The top 3, top 5, top 10, all as they had started. In fact, the entire field has single filed themselves out for the moment. Just off in the background, it's Moreno and Navarro side by side as Navarro gets by up to P16. And we're going to make our way down all the way into the hairpin here. Michael Folds leads them down here into the hairpin. It's going to be side by side, maybe for 5th place, 4th place actually. No, it is 5th place. That is Charles Wolfe making his way past Dalton Dudley. And number 16, 17 cars, preferred lane could be going to Dudley here as they both make contact side by side into the first chicane. They both make it through. Wolfe will get shuffled back as Henrico is going to make his way by. It's a little bit of a gap between, well, the top 4 and everybody else. And Henrico is going to go for the gap himself. He sees the space. He's going to go for it. Side by side into the second chicane. Again, preferred lane to Dudley. So Henrico not able to capitalize and get by as Bartlett and Wolfe are side by side. Wolfe a little bit of a bob on the left-hand side. Uphill they go. Corrections, that was Mullins and Wolfe, not Bartlett and Wolfe. Bartlett's just there in the background. In that red, black, and white cars around, that is Ishmael Ublal, the number 2, a rare mistake for the number 2 machine as he'll drop all the way to the back of the field. Is he going to tow? I think he's trying to get refired. Up in the front, though, James Newell, Nicholas Shepard, Michael Folds. Now, where have we seen this one before, as these two are going to kick off just where they ended pretty much last week at Oulton Park. How appropriate, too, as they'll make contact going into turn 1. Little bit of hip and shoulder for Nicholas Shepard to get by James Newell for second. And all the way back here, positions being swapped left, right, and center. That is number 13 of Daniel Diliberti. Andres Navarro caught up as well. It is chaos. It is bedlam here on the opening lap. I'll have to try and catch up with it here all the while. What happened with Ishmael Leblanc? We'll have to run this back just one more time. But the number 2 machine had spun out. What happened? Oh, he got the grass with his left side tires. Oh, man. Then we'll have to go back up to the second place battle that occurred that we had just missed. And then we'll go back to Diliberti. There's a move from Shepard into the final corner. A little bit wide from James Newell on the corner exit. As both of them were side by side with the drag race. Down into turn number 1. And just turning into early there is James Newell making contact. What happened with Diliberti and Navarro? Both of them made contact, presumably. Oh, man. Navarro just tagged the curb there. Great job by Diliberti, though, to keep it off. Look at this from up above here. And curb, and it's just a racing deal there, I would say. Just a hit of the curb for Navarro and just a little bit of a squeeze unintentionally from Daniel Diliberti as we come back to live pictures. Well, I don't know if we have a second to breathe exactly, because Henrico is going to be under fire from Dalton Dudley here. And in fact, we should be able to bring up the live point standings as everybody runs here. So these are the top 4 in the championship as they run. We'll make the text a little bit larger next time, making that a mental note. But the number in the parentheses is the position that these drivers are running on track that you can follow along with. As, oh, that is Thomas Aravello and Loic as well, caught up in a crash in the background. I think Loic was just someone who was just passing by, quite literally. What happened to Tomas out of turn number 1? And it was the curb, and it was the grass, and he just, nope, does nail the wall hard on the right-hand side, and nearly makes contact with a couple of drivers passing through. That was Tanagretta getting passed by Vermeulen for P19. On track for the lead, though, as we just come back live, Nicholas Shepard has caught up and gotten by Michael Folds for the first place spot. Just when we think we're at replays, there's still more to come. It was here down into the past the hairpin, and looks like Folds just decided to let actually exiting the first chicane, and it looks to be maybe a little bit better exit. Oh, I think Folds on this back one more time, and it looks like Folds may have just gotten the grass a little bit too much of the curb is all. So this is out of the hairpin into the first chicane, over the curb, over the next one, over the last, and he just went wide. And that is how Shepard got the pass done for the lead. Can we have a second to look at everything? Well, maybe not. It is bedlam over here for about 4th place. What is happening today in Oulton Park? Oh my goodness, we have so many battles occurring, and it's only the first 6 minutes. As we're taking a look at Dudley, getting by Henrico for P4, squeezes just a little bit, but he does get the space just behind them. I think they sorted themselves out for about 6th, 7th, and 8th. They have. So this battle kicks off for 4th place. Henrico gets by Dudley. Dudley might try and fight back here. Does he decide to go for it? He does. He'll look to the right-hand side, left-hand side, I should say. Although to the right-hand side is Matt Mullins, who makes contact with Dudley. No, Dudley spins into the inside wall. His race is over. The first race that we've seen Dudley as well, ever since we started broadcasting, is over just by inadvertent contact from Mullins. He is out of a battle for 4th place. Not even 7 minutes into his first race for Dudley, at least in the top split. that we've been broadcasting, he is out. And I cannot believe it. The battle for fourth heated up. I was wondering when it was all going to kick off, and we just saw it there. And we saw it from up above as well. We'll take a look one more time from just up above, as it looks like, oh no, just inadvertent contact. Mullins just moved a little bit too much to the left, and that sent Dudley into the infield wall, or the inside tire wall. And that is effectively race over for Dudley. Trafford King, Matthew Bartlett in the background, battling it out for, hold on a second, Mullins making a move for 5th place, actually. Wasn't expecting that. The two Matts battling side by side. Here comes Charles Wolfe to come back into this battle. And this is all for 4th place. The lead cars are 6 seconds ahead of Olivier Henrico here. And just like that, as Bartlett up to P5. Wolfe snuck his way through up to P6. Mullins shuffled down a couple positions. Well, I wonder if we have a second to take a moment here. Let's throw this back up while we still have a chance. The numbers in parentheses are the positions that these drivers are running on track. And with Bartlett running in 5th and Charles Wolfe running in 6th, you can see they are, well, should have swapped that around. Charles Wolfe running in 6th currently sits 3rd as the points currently stand. And this is effectively the broadcast championship, not the official iRacing points. These are based off of the real-life IMSA MX-5 point standings, or at least the format of the points is what this is from. And so currently with that swap between Shepard and Folds, it was a 10-point difference before Shepard had gotten by Folds. So 1st and 2nd in the championship currently sit 1st and 2nd on the road. And very interestingly enough, Charles Wolfe sitting in 6th. Next driver in line to be 3rd in the championship is in the background. No, that's Mullins in the background who spins off. Just coming out of the chicane. There we go. Got there at the end of the day. Again, I ask, what is happening in Oulton Park? Did someone's... Oh my goodness. Did he get the grass? I actually have no idea. It looks like he may have gotten the grass there. We'll run this back one more time and look from up above. Did Mullins catch the grass here? See the brake rotors glowing for all the cars as they enter. And yeah, I think so. I think he just swung a little bit too wide. It could have been the momentum of the car as well. That just upset the grip at the same time. So come back to live pictures. Off in the background, there's Diliberti and Navarro battling for P19 as contact is almost made out of turn number 1. They inadvertent contact earlier on, but they both continue on here in P19. Well, now that Bartlett... Wait, hold on. Now somebody off in the background. That is... Man, so many Matthews today. That is Matthew Breton, who is new to the top split. As far as I know, just in general, he is car number 22, which, in case you're new to watching this means he's the 22nd highest I-rated driver out of this entire field. So number 1, in this case, is Michael Folds. He has the highest I rating of the current field of this split. Matthew Breton has the 22nd highest out of a field of 24, and he qualified 10th. He is currently running, well, still 10th, of course. Very impressive for a first start for him for this week. Oh, man, that is a slide and a half. Is that Genski? I think that was Genski. Just kept that under control. Going towards the uphill. Well, now that we have a second, let's bring this up one more time for the live points. Because I thought they'd swap positions. They have not, but they might here between Wolfe and Bartlett. Let's see what happens here as they make their way through the undulations of the straightaway. Downhill once again. Shepard and Folds currently sit 1st and 2nd still, as off in the background it's Matt Mullins, Tony Wallace battling for P16. A little bit of contact between Wallace and Navarro. There are battles happening everywhere here for this week. They're still just barely making contact, inches from making contact. I think Navarro Luckily, I thought he was going to shut the door. At least he does. I thought he was going to make contact into the first corner. Look at Loic making his way to the inside. And just like that, successfully puts Tony Wallace offline. I think it's Vermeulen. I think that's how it's pronounced. I think it's Vermeulen. I hope that's the case until I'm told otherwise. In the meantime, Vermeulen looking at the back bumper of Andres Navarro. Matt Mullins currently sits P15, trying to set sail, catch up to Aaron Reynolds. While we have a moment, James Newell has fallen back a little bit from the top 2 runners, so at this point it is currently who's who in terms of who's going to be the one to get a 4th win on the season. A little bit of an interesting tidbit as well in terms of Nicholas Shepard, who goes off the track. Oh no, he way overshoots the second to last corner. Well off the track he goes. Not sure if he has a slowdown penalty as a result of that. The grass did the job regardless. And Folds is back up in first place. And with that pass, there we go. Now we have the confirmation. Folds, so either way, if either driver wins this race, in terms of Folds or Shepard, they will take control of the, I'm going to call it the broadcast championship from here on out, just so it's a little bit easier as Folds nearly drops it out of the first corner. What is happening? I actually have no idea what's going on. We're in the first half of the race still. Both these drivers pushing like it's the final lap. Shepard, he goes off the track again. Just in the background, James Newell follows suit a little bit. And we have the Mexico Grand Prix in Formula 1 also be a little bit chaotic as well in its own right. I guess these guys saw it and said, you know what, hold my MX-5. We're going to do you one better. And oh boy, are they doing one better, as just on the outside, here comes Heinricho for Bartlett, trying to get up to 4th place. Just on the brakes is Charles Wolf. Heinricho not done yet. He'll go to the left-hand side. He'll get the preferred lane. He actually backs out here. I see the brake lights flashing on corner entry there. I think that was a sign from Heinricho to Wolf saying, hey, hold on, back off here for a moment because I want to get through this corner. Oh, my goodness. Well, we'll see. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. We'll give it a second here. As they go into the chicane. Okay, now we'll take this chance to go for the next portion of the championship points. Matt Mullins, if he finishes where he's at right now and checks notes 15th, he would be 5th in the point standings. Kyle Genske, who sits 9th, would be 8th in the standings as things stand. If the race were to finish right now, Eugenio, I've also learned it's not Pulici, it's Puilsi, I believe is how it's pronounced. I think. Could be wrong with that, but it's not Pulici. It's Puilci. That's apparently how his name is spelled. He is not here this week, so he does not have a position on the board. That's why the parentheses are just sitting there. And he does not have a spot here this week. Not racing this week, I should say more accurately. But if we hold on a second, Matthew Bartlett does the same thing that Michael Folds had done just last time around, and Charles Wolf is going to capitalize on this. So is Trafford King, we haven't seen in a while. Welcome back to him. Michael Coates just suddenly appears in the top 10 all of a sudden. So many variations of Matt and Matthews here for this race. We'll have to look at that here in a second. Their positions swapping all over the racetrack here in the bottom half of the top 10. You could probably keep up with it a lot easier just by looking at the timing tower versus us trying to bounce around here. We're going to focus on this battle for 4th place right now. Follow along with your favorite driver on the tower while we still have the chance, while we still have the technology. Off goes Charles Wolf. He drifts through the final corner. That might be a slowdown penalty, though, for that 16 car. Here comes Henrico. Trafford King has snuck his way up into the top 5. Bartlett currently sits in 6th. Who sits where in the point standings right now? I have curiosity. None of these drivers, I don't believe, except for Genske, are sitting in this battle right now. So that means we're going to have to move it down another 4 spots and update accordingly. And oh, look, there they are. Olivier Enrico sits 4th place on track, 9th in the standings as things stand. Tony Wallace, I don't know if this is actually correct. I mean, this should be correct. It seems weird, but I mean, especially for Ishmael Blal, who's no longer on the track. It was Genski and Wolf make contact. Genski just drifts off the racetrack. He's on the radio expressing his displeasure here. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a massive shuffle in the points after everything is all said and done here. We're going to have to update our... update everything after this. Let's run this back to the corner exit between the contact between Genski and Wolf that has just occurred. Genski just got by there in the second to last corner, so he was ahead of Charles Wolf. And Charles says, well, you know what? I see what you did. I'm going to do it better. Dives into the corner and just a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. I don't think anything inadvertent there or anything in terms of intentional contact between Wolf and Genski. I think we should be able to. I'm not sure. Let me double check here. Excuse the championship graphic popping up here for a second. Okay, that is just going to be updated after the race. We could, in theory, update it right now, and in fact, we're going to do our best here. It's a little bit difficult, though, because everyone keeps swapping positions every 5 seconds, so I'm not sure if this is going to be possible here, but we'll try our best. I will bring up the championship graphic here once we update that accordingly. In the meantime, Trafford King, we have not seen him in a while. He currently sits 4th on the road here. James Newell currently sits 3rd. Foles and Shepard, a little bit of gap between those two as things stand. Oh, if only you could see Moreno actually getting past. Oh, wait, hold on. Loic also made contact as well, and he is out of this race. First appearance, that is the second driver to make their first appearance here in the broadcast split, only to DNF. Did he nail the tire wall? No. Oh, what happened? He just comes to a dead stop. We're going to ride on board and take a listen here. Oh, that's strange. That is one of the most strangest incidents I have seen. Loic is currently towed in pit road right now. Nope, wrong one. There we go. Back to live pictures. Coates suddenly sits in 7th. He's gotten himself past Charles Wolf. So again, this battle for 4th is just the one we can't exactly look away from here with 10 minutes to go. We'll do our best to do some spreadsheet changes here. Well, we have a chance, just to give you a rough idea of how things are going. In fact, we're going to hold off on that at the moment because we're about to have a battle here between, I was about to say King and Newell, it's King and Henrico here. And Matthew Bartlett just lurking in the background as things stand currently. A little bit of a moment from Henrico. And while we have a chance, we're going to go ahead and ride on board with Michael Coates here to give you a feeling of what it's like to ride around one lap of the Oulton Park International Circuit as he sits and watches this 4th place battle just ever ongoing. I'll just ride on board, listen to the engine, and look at the speed at the bottom of your screen. One lap around Oulton Park. And that is your lap around Oulton Park. And suddenly, the gap for the lead has closed up significantly once again between Michael Folds and Nicholas Shepard. We'll see if there's anything going here into the hairpin. Looks like no move from Shepard just yet. He'll stick right on the back bumper here of Michael Folds with the last just over 7 minutes remaining here. Through the chicane they'll go. A little bit wide goes Folds. A lot wide goes Folds, I'm sure. And that is a slowdown penalty for Folds. Surely, that is exactly what just happened here. Let's take a look one more time from up above. Oh man, just nailed the curb, and not a slowdown penalty, I don't believe. He just decided to willingly give up the position. Bear with us here as we'll cut back to your live photos here. Meanwhile, for fourth place, Trafford King is still doing a fantastic job holding off Henrico here for the moment. Henrico staying in a pretty good spot here for the moment. And if we go ahead and bring up the championship standings here, as things stand, Charles Wolf would be third, where he currently sits. No, wait a minute. No, he's dropping back. Wolf is dropping back. He had spun somewhere off in the background. You can see the points dipping in real time as well. Now he has a 120-point gap between himself and Matthew Bartlett. What happened to Charles Wolf here? Let's see if we can try to run this back. Maybe a little bit too much. That we just got the tail end of it here. Oh, I think it's the same thing that Shepard had done here. Just overshot the corner. Oh, tires on the grass. Good drift, though, to just keep it forward. He almost had it saved, too. That sends him down to P12 here at the moment. Back to live pictures once again. And it's Breton and Genski side by side for the 7th place spot. Here, tires squealing. I don't see anyone dropping spots, though. They're just pushing so hard in the hairpin here. We have so many separate battles here on the racetrack. 4-car battle for 4th, a 4-car battle for 8th. And it is all kicking off here in Oulton Park. Genski trying to defend against Breton. Breton looking to get his first top 10 finish. Or at least in this case, just looking to finish the race in general. Especially with how things have been panning out, especially for Tomas Aravedo and Dalton Dudley, as well as Loic Vermeulen, who all in some way or another have effectively DNF'd. I believe same goes for Tangaretta as well, also new to this week. I believe same for Vicente Sepulveda. Sepulveda. I'll get it one day. My brain keeps mixing up the which things go where. Well, back up to the 4th place battle. King trying to find his way. Bartlett trying to find his way past Henrico for the 5th place spot. Michael Coates just sitting here in the background, just lurking in case anything does happen. And at this rate, something will happen, that is for sure, as Folds has closed in a little bit to Nicholas Shepard. It's starting to get within slipstream distance, that's for sure, but here, well, give it a second. There is the battle for 4th place. On the outside is Trafford King trying to defend against Henrico. Henrico gets pushed off a little bit. Bartlett sees the gap. He's going to try and go for it here to the inside. Side by side they'll go. It's going to be a drag race between these two. Down into the first chicane. That's Bartlett backing out, giving Henrico the space, letting him go ahead. But all that lost time, you can see it visually just with the gaps between the cars, between King and Henrico. Coach not waiting anymore. He's going to go alongside Bartlett. He'll fall back in line, though, because of the chicane these drivers are coming up on right here. And just in the background there is that brewing battle for the 8th place spot. Meanwhile, back up front, we should be getting 2 laps to go this time by. I don't see any reason as to why not, but should be 2 laps to go this time by. Let's cross the line, they'll go. 2 minutes remaining. The lap time around here is 1:50. So this time by, it's officially 2 laps to go. And that only means that this battle for effectively 4th could turn into a battle for 5th. And these 3 drivers of Henrico, Bartlett, and Coates keep battling it out between themselves. King could walk away with a very solid 4th place finish here. That's assuming everything stays as is. Look at all that dirt and dust getting brought up onto the racetrack. Jeez. Bartlett trying to hold off Coates. Coates a little bit closer. He'll swing around to the right-hand side. Can't quite get there, though. Can't find the space. I'll stick behind for now. Meanwhile, all the way up ahead on the other side of the racetrack, actually. Ooh, as Aaron Reynolds has dipped out, he is back. Okay, I did see that for a moment. Did have a little bit of a connection blip there for the moment for Reynolds, though. Hoping that it holds out for him for the next 2 laps. Through the chicane, these drivers go once again. Henrico is caught to the back of Trafford King. King going to be on defensive, although Henrico might be on defensive here. Does Bartlett decide to push, quite literally or figuratively? Decides to stay against it. Or decides against it, I should say. So fall in line here. Well, this battle will no doubt continue on. Look at all the gravel and dust and dirt and everything that's been brought up here as these leaders are hitting the white flag this time by. And we should be seeing that waved as well at the start-finish line. There goes James Newell. And we'll see Trafford King and Henrico side by side down the front straightaway here. Wait for it, wait for it. There they are. Henrico with the preferred lane on the inside. King trying to go on defensive. King breaks first. Does Bartlett does King try for the switchback? Can't quite find the space just yet. He'll dive down to the right-hand side, though. Left-hand side, I should say. That puts Henrico offline. And no contact was made. Henrico slides off the track. He'll fall back to what is currently 7th. Coates looking at a potential top 5 finish here. Does Coates try and make a move here, heading into the hairpin on Bartlett? Does he decide to go for the move? Can't quite get there. He does try and just barely put the bumper to him, though. He is reminding Bartlett that he is still there for the lead. They're heading their way down into the 2nd chicane. And it's still very possible that one of these two could still make a mistake. We'll see how things fare here as we keep an eye on this battle between King. There goes Coates. He's going to make the move to the inside of Bartlett. Does Bartlett hang it around the outside? It'll become the inside into the 2nd turn. Coates gets loose. He just holds on to it. He'll be put in the clutches of Henrico. King in line for a 4th place finish after a successful defense. And for the 4th time this season, or it could be the 5th time, who knows? We'll check after the race. Regardless, after both drivers went off the track, Nicholas Shepard wins at Oulton Park. Michael Folds finishes in 2nd. James Newell once again will round out the podium spot here in 3rd place. We have a battle just coming to the line, though. We still have a couple between Breton and Stockton. They're fine for 10th place, though. Sorry, this is the one with Stockton and Verneau as they round the final corner. Genski just gets 8th place. And Verneau finishes in 11th. As everybody rounds out the field, crossing the start-finish line here. Man, oh man. What a race. Wow. Well, let's go ahead and throw up the finishing results here on your screen for you. So we can all just collectively take in and just take a moment to breathe as well at the same time to see the finishing results of this race. And just double checking my spreadsheet, that is 1, 2, 3. Yep, confirmed fourth win. Just have to double check there for Nicholas Shepard for this season. So he bests Michael Folds for now, especially in the championship. We'll get to the standings here in a second as well, just after we go through the results. First with the top 10, Nicholas Shepard, victorious over Michael Folds. I was surprised that either of them had even remotely made it in the first place, considering both of them went off the track at the same time. James Newell with a attempt battle with Nicholas Shepard and Folds again. I would not be surprised if we see Newell next week, and I hope we do, because Newell just kind of being the new third driver to join in on this battle has been so entertaining ever since last week. What a way to kick off the second half of the season. Trafford King, haven't seen him in a while. He is back, and he finishes off in the 4th place position, with Matthew Bartlett finishing in 5th place. Michael Coates finishes in 6th, with Henrico falling back a couple spots to 7th. Kyle Genske manages to finish in the 8th place position, with Matthew Breton finishing in 9th. Alex Stockton rounds out the top 10 positions as we're trying to get that put in on the spreadsheet. There we go. Next portion of your field, where pretty much everybody and their mother was battling amongst themselves, it seemed like. We have Michael Vernot finishing off in the 11th place position. And then Charles Wolf and Andres Navarro finishing 12th and 13th, with Aaron Reynolds rounding out the 14th place position. Matt Mullins rounds out the top 15. Vicente Sepulveda, I'll get it right. Sepulveda finishes in 16th. Daniel De Liberti finishes 17th, with Gregorio Moreno Jr. finishing off in the 18th place position. Tony Wallace finishes 19th, with Michael Tanagretta rounding out the 20th place position. For what it's worth, actually, we'll get here after this, after we get to the last 4 drivers here on the standings and the finishing order, as these drivers are the ones that did not finish, unfortunately. And shock. Well, we'll go with this first. We have Loic. There we go. We have Loic Vermeulen rounding out the 21st position after DNFing a shock DNF in the form of Ishmael Ublal, I would say, finishing 22nd, as Tomas Aravello finishes in the 23rd spot, and then Dalton Dudley finishing in 24th. So, now that I have a chance, we'll go ahead. We're going to stick longer here, just uncharacteristically a little bit longer, for a couple things. We do want to update the championship standings here while we do have the chance to do so. So we're going to go ahead and do that at the moment, and it shouldn't be too long in terms of getting all these standings updated. It should be almost immediate. I'll go with that, and then let's go ahead and take out the finishing results and throw up the championship results. So this is what the championship results were coming into this afternoon's event. And then once we just hit a simple refresh, oh, that didn't work as much as I thought it would. Well, that's unfortunate. But I'll go ahead and read it out regardless. In fact, we'll see if we can just quickly get this adjusted, because that wasn't targeting the proper thing. That is a little bit awkward. So go ahead and get that fixed, which shouldn't take too long. But regardless, this is the points coming into tonight's event, and I'll go ahead and show you the points as of the conclusion of this afternoon's event. If we just do this really quickly, and apologies, but we shouldn't have this issue next week, luckily, so Good on that. And here are the championship standings after this week. There we go. Nicholas Shepard leads over Michael Folds. And then both of these two have been so insanely dominant that it's quite a few points between themselves and Charles Wolfe in third. Matthew Bartlett, fourth in the standings. Mullins, fifth. Moreno, sixth. Puilsi is seventh. Genski, eighth. Ninth is Coates, and Tony Wallace, tied with Henrico, interestingly enough. That's going to be a fun battle to keep an eye on. They're both tied effectively for 10th at 1,210 points. Ishmael Blal, again, a shock DNF, has him sit 12th in the standings at the moment. Sanders, 13th. Newell, 14th. Aaron Reynolds, in this case, 15th. Frankie Sugamelli, 16th. Kevin Kramer, 17th. 18th for No. Justin Reynolds, 19th. John Miller III, 20th. We've not seen him in a while. Alex Stockton, 21st. Travis Ewart, 22nd. 23rd. Daniel Diliberti, 24th. Pete Loops, tied with Andres Navarro. Also another battle to keep an eye on here, as Donnie Moffitt rounds out the 26th place in the standings that we have. And now we can finally take a moment to just breathe and just take in what we saw for this afternoon's event. But unfortunately, for me at least, we don't have too much time to wait, because just next week, with our next race of the season, race number 8 heads into the Hungaroring. And oh, by the way, quick note for everybody is that daylight savings in the US ends next week, or at least Sunday night. So if I'm understanding the daylight savings time switch correctly, which I should because I've dealt with it for so long, the time should be 1 hour later than usual, I think. Even I have no idea, so we'll see how this goes. I'm in a zone that doesn't do daylight savings, and it's a little bit confusing. But we'll figure out next week on Monday. Sunday at the least. All the times should be updated for the next few broadcasts, but I would say same time, but technically not really, because data savings time ends for next week. So check your calendars, check your clocks, and set them accordingly, and make sure they actually work and don't fits out over on the Switch. But regardless, that's not going to stop us from having a race in the virtual morning in Hungaroring. It's going to be a absolutely fantastic event there, especially considering it will be a sunrise as well, and another F1 circuit. So we'll leave you with that. I'll go ahead and wrap it up here from the virtual Oulton Park circuit. What a race this was, and we hope to see you again next week in Hungary.